I was talking with my friend actually today about different types of intelligence, and you obviously have the sort of emotional intelligence, the academic intelligence, the good memory, the spiritual intelligence. And I really realised what separates spiritual intelligence from other forms of intelligence is that spiritual intelligence is a feeling. Is something that you feel. It's not something that you can actually analyze or logically kind of grow in. Yes, you can read spiritual books, and yes, you can sort of read spiritual information, and you can read all you want online, but really the spiritual experience is felt, and you kind of have to have that awakening, and you have to go on that journey, and you have an experience and you feel something, and you know that it can't be logically put into words, and it's what kind of wakes a lot of us up. And that's why I think people that are incredibly academically intelligent actually probably struggle the most with jumping onto the spiritual path, because it's something that can't really be analysed or put into logic. So obviously, if you've spent your whole life as a very logical thinker, having very logical conversations, then you're going to find it even more difficult to let that go and believe in this whole new type of intelligence and this whole new type of being. And I think, even with things like the way the earth is formed, if you've studied archaeology and history for 35 years of your life, and then suddenly to believe in the feelings or the intuitions that you're getting would be to scrap all that, because what we've been told about the history of the earth is completely untrue. It's going to be much harder. It's it's a letting go thing. It's going to be so much harder to let go of something that you've spent a long time building, finding evidence for, and logically thinking about. So I really feel what differentiates these forms of intelligence and the spiritual path from other things is that you can't logic your way there, and you can't analyze your way there, and you can't read your way there. Yes, you can kind of get little markers along the way, and you can do these things, but they are not going to, that is not really the spiritual experience. The spiritual experience, it's completely felt. It's like, God or source is not going to just show up on the road and be, hi, I'm here. I thought I'd just pop in and say hello. We connect to source within, we connect to source by that inner journey, and that's very much the different science. Although they are interconnecting now and they are catching up, science is beginning to come around to the spiritual way of thinking, but that's because it requires scientists who think outside of the box and are willing to look at things like, are we creating our reality? If so, then our experiments suddenly take on a whole new identity, because what we used to think we had evidence for and facts for, if we can create our external reality through our mind, then obviously this data doesn't really mean as much as we thought it meant. So you have to have it requires a whole new way of thinking, and it requires dropping evidence, facts, and history in order to come to new ways of thinking and new perceptions. So the more kind of ingrained you are in your academia, the more difficult I honestly think it can be for people to kind of let that go and open up to a new way of seeing the world. But yeah, and following on from that, it's important to remember it's a felt experience. And of course, we're all going to read books and we're all going to, watch things. But I think we can all get a bit too stuck sometimes in analysing and logically trying to work out the spiritual path. I do that myself as well. I'm a very analytical person. I'm like a Pisces, but I'm very close to cusp Aquarius, and I've got about 3 Aquarius placements. So even though I do have that emotional Piscean side, I have a hell of a lot of air. And I do believe astrology kind of dictates, even though I think we can overcome our astrology, as in we can kind of, I think our astrology is a sort of karmic template to a degree that we come in with. And my belief is that we can outgrow that actually, and that it doesn't no longer applies, because we are able to manifest and create our own reality. But I do think it kind of templates us with certain things. And I am very logical at times and very analytical. Like, I'm a really deep thinker. I'm always thinking of like alternatives and different things, and sometimes that can hold us back on the spiritual path because we can't really think our way into being spiritually kind of awake, and we can't grow spiritually by being logical. A lot of those insights that come to us when we've let go. We're in meditation, we're in a meditative state or mindful state, and then we just get wisdom come down, or we just feel things, or we know things. And I think sometimes the mind, can be that trying to kind of constantly analyze and find reasons and logics for things on the spiritual path can sometimes be our downfall, really. And, it is important to a sense, we're seekers and we're always going to seek knowledge. But I do think that the biggest part of this journey is a felt experience and a kind of letting go rather than a sort of seeking almost. It's kind of an allowing the truth to kind of come find us. And it's like a continual sort of process between the two. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to drop that here and hope everyone's good.